used all of your $36,000 savings for mom's surgery.
What? What happened to your mother?
She's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. It's infuriating. She's only 60. There is no God.
That's worrisome, but what do you mean by my savings?
We need money for the treatment.
That may be true, but why would you use it without asking? How did you withdraw it?
I transferred it to my account through online banking.
The password is?
I found it in the box under your drawer.
You shouldn't take it without permission, right?
Are you weighing life against money?
I didn't say that, did I? You should have consulted me.
You, a money grubber, wouldn't nod unless I did this, would you?
What do you think of me?
I'm going to save my mom's life.
If that's the situation, I don't mind you using the money, but consult me in the future.
You still have your savings from when you were single because of my earnings, right? It's practically my money. Don't act so high and mighty.
What's with your tone? Isn't that too much?
I'm distressed because my mom's life is at stake. You just keep blaming me. Don't you have any compassion?
I'm sorry.
I grew up with just my mom after losing my dad. It's natural to want her to live long, right?
Yes, I want to visit your mother in the hospital too.
No.
Why not?
My mom knows that I used your money. What would she think if you, the person who provided the money, showed up in her room?
Well, maybe she would feel in debt.
No. She'll think you're there to collect and her condition will worsen.
I won't do that.
I'm already full of guilt for what I did to you. If you show up with a "I lent you $36,000 look on your face, it won't help her recovery.
But I think there are things that's easier to ask a woman to do, like bringing fresh clothes or doing laundry, and I want to be of help.
You've already done enough. Absolutely do not contact her, neither by text nor by phone.
Then let me prepare some gifts for her and you can bring them.
I can allow that.
I hope she gets better soon.
You're so carefree.
I didn't mean to be. I'm genuinely worried.
You, who still have both parents alive, wouldn't understand my feelings.
Daniel, don't stress yourself out too much, okay? I'll do anything I can to help.
Then, take on more work.
Eh?
It looks like her treatment will take longer. You can never have too much money.
But I'm already working full-time.
You have nights, don't you? How about a job in the entertainment industry?
I've never done that before.
You just make drink and sit around doing nothing. Even an idiot could do that job.
I think it's a difficult job, you know?
Do it.
It might be a bit too much for me.
Oh, so you're not going to help. Let's get a divorce then.
Why does it come to that?
There's no point in being together if we can't help each other. If it were your parents who were sick, I'd work around the clock to pay for treatment.
Alright, I'll look for job listings.
You can start immediately if it's just a trial, so go from today.
That's impossible on such short notice. I need some mental preparation.
I beg you. You are the only person I can rely on.
I understand, but...
I'll be at the hospital for a while, and I don't need meals. Contact me when you've made some money.
Okay. A job in the entertainment industry. I'm extremely introverted, and the last thing I want to do is customer service. I wonder if I can do this kind of night job. I'm Mia, 29 years old. I've been married to my husband for 3 years, but things haven't been going well lately. With his domineering attitude and volatile emotions, I've been feeling at my limit. But if this is due to his mother's illness, perhaps it was me who lacked understanding. Despite Daniel's strict prohibition, I was so worried about my mother-in-law that I sent her a message on text. However, it remains unread. Mustered up the courage to call, but the announcement that the number you have dialed is revealed that it was an unused number. Being avoided to the point of changing her number, I thought we had a good relationship. In hopes of reducing my husband's anxiety, I decided to try a shift at a cabaret club. Sorry, I went for a trial yesterday, but they told me they couldn't hire me.
What?
Perhaps because I was silent for too long, the customers lodged numerous complaints, and I was told to go home after only 2 hours.
What are you doing? Are you really that incompetent?
But I can't just start a high-energy conversation with a man I just met. It's impossible for me.
You get paid even for a trial shift, right? How much?
It was $36.
What? That's not even enough for a kid's allowance.
I'm good at programming, but this is a bit...
You're really useless.
It seems I'm not suited for this. I'll look for another part-time job.
Forget it. I thought this might happen, so I found something for you.
What?
They'll pick you up, so leave the door open.
I don't want to. It's scary.
It's okay. You're good at massage, aren't you?
I'm not especially good at it.
You don't have to talk when you're massaging, so you can do it.
Does that mean...
It's up to you to provide any extra services, but your hourly wage might increase.
No, I don't want to do something like that.
What's a cabaret club dropout doing, acting so high and mighty?
I chose my current job because I'm not good at interacting with people. There's no way someone who spends all day interacting with computers could work in a business that involves dealing with men.
You're just not trying. Break out of your shell.
I can't.
If you go, I get a referral fee.
Who are you dealing with? No matter how much money you need for my mother-in-law, you've lost your sense of judgment.
Stop the nagging. Do as I say.
No, I absolutely won't open the door.
Then I'll have to drag you out. I'll be back soon, so wait for me.
Stop it. The door is being pounded on. I'm scared. Help me.
The noise will stop if you open it.
I'll report you to the police.
See what happens if I get arrested. My mother will be left alone. Who will pay for the treatment? Do you intend to let her die?
That's not my intention, but I have to protect myself.
Everything is for my mother. Money is less important than life, so stop complaining.
This is going too far.
Where the hell did you go? Yesterday the house was locked, but no one was inside.
I jumped out and escaped. Just kidding. Someone helped me.
Who is it? A man?
Stop it. Just because you're cheating doesn't mean you have to suspect me too. I was scared by the loud knocking on the door and went out to the balcony, and the neighbor called out to me. When I briefly explained the situation, they told me to come over from the balcony.
Damn, you escaped to the neighbors?
We're close enough to share gifts from our parents and share with each other. You suddenly said not to have neighborhood interactions, so I kept quiet.
It's the one on the right, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Wilson.
Hey, his wife should be in the hospital now. So does that mean her husband helped you?
That's right, but why do you know about his wife's hospitalization?
No. I met Wilson's husband in the elevator and he said something like that.
He said he hasn't told anyone, only their parents and I know.
Oh, maybe it was just my imagination. I might have seen him at my mother's hospital.
That's it, but I'm worried about your mother.
That's right. She's having surgery again and it's costing a fortune.
Oh, wait a second. There's someone who wants to talk to you.
Who? I'm busy taking care of my mother.
What are you doing? I didn't have surgery.
Who?
Your mother is in perfect health.
Mom?
Mia unusually called home last night. And when I talked to her, it turned out to be a huge mess.
Listen to this.
My phone was malfunctioning, so I asked you to fix it, but you unilaterally canceled it. We don't have Wi-Fi at home, so I can't use text, and I can't contact anyone, and I was in trouble.
I thought the smartphone, the electromagnetic waves are not good for you, so I canceled it for your health.
Nonsense! Who said I have cancer? Where am I terminal? It's your brain that's about to end, you idiot son!
There's a reason for this. I'll explain it properly.
I don't care about that. The fact is you lied. Instead of apologizing, you just make excuses. I don't remember raising such a son. It's really pathetic.
Mom,
I'll switch to Mia. Talking to you makes my fingers itch.
don't say that.
You're probably wondering how I found out, huh?
What's going on?
I got help from our neighbor, and while talking, I found out that his wife was hospitalized.
I see.
Apparently, there's been a man who is not her husband visiting her room frequently. It seems this came from a nurse's gossip.
Really?
That man was you, wasn't it?
That's impossible, right?
The husband was letting you hang around to gather evidence.
Did he know about this?
I had my suspicions too. You used to at least greet me, but suddenly you told me not to talk to you anymore. I sensed something was off.
I'm sorry, I've been having an affair with the wife next door.
So you admit it. You used my $36,000 on that woman.
What could I do? She doesn't have long to live. Her husband hesitates to provide her with the best medical care. I had no choice but to do something.
You've been deceived, haven't you?
Wait, what?
The neighbor's wife is only hospitalized for a simple stomach ulcer and hemorrhoid surgery.
That's not true. She has cancer, stage 4.
Even if that were true, she has substantial insurance, so the cost of treatment isn't an issue. While in the hospital, she got hooked on online casinos because she was bored. She spent all the household savings on it, and now she's broke.
Are you serious?
So she can find you, her affair partner. She must have thought that she could squeeze money out of you if she said she had terminal cancer.
That damn woman.
You loved her, didn't you? Is it okay for you to speak about her like that?
If it was just for money, it's a different story. Maybe the thrill of doing something dangerous between neighbors was fun.
But an affair is an affair. The video of you two getting intimate in the hospital bed, the husband is apparently going to share it with me as well.
Delete it immediately.
What? After having an affair, what's with that attitude?
You're suspicious too. You were together with the neighbor's husband late at night. We can guess what you were doing. You were having an affair too, weren't you?
Don't group me with a piece of trash like you.
I'm going to sue you too. It's no surprise that you're a suspect, going into a man's room.
There was another person there, so nothing happened like you're imagining.
Who was it?
It was my mother-in-law. I was so scared of being found and taken away that my legs were shaking and I couldn't walk. I called my mother-in-law's house and she came to pick me up right away. I slept at my parents' house. Is there a problem with that?
I thought you stayed overnight.
Actually, I've followed you before. I wanted to find my mother-in-law's hospital room.
What the hell are you doing?
Then it turned out to be the neighbor's wife's room. For a moment I thought, what? But I still believed somewhere that she's a neighbor. And you might have just stopped by while visiting my mother-in-law. I also thought I shouldn't tell her husband and make a big fuss. But everything was revealed yesterday and I feel relieved.
You're wrong. You know there's a difference between an affair and being serious, right?
You had an affair and you were serious, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't go into debt to support her.
Why did you?
You're a diligent Yakuza. While you came to kidnap me from our apartment, you dropped a leaflet in the mailbox that said you lend money.
Are they idiots?
So my mother-in-law called them. She asked what relationship they had with you.
You're lying.
You tried to make me do shady work to pay back the debt. That's terrible.
What can I do? The interest is mounting.
You borrowed $140,000.
I borrowed $36,000. The rest is interest. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. Do what you want, but you're definitely giving me back my $36,000.
Let's work hard together.
What?
Aren't a husband and wife supposed to support each other during tough times?
Who put me in a painful situation? I thought it was good and I became a hostess, but I was scolded for being useless. Do you know how hard it was?
I'm sorry, so let's start over.
Go away.
Don't say such a thing.
Pay me compensation and disappear.
Mia,
Even my mother-in-law says she's cutting ties with you. You can live your life being chased by the gangsters. Don't ever show your filthy face to us again.
I don't want that.
The woman next door was discharged from the hospital soon after, and when she returned home, her room was empty. Seeing the divorce papers and compensation claim on the table, she seemed to have realized everything. She was billed for $100,000 in compensation and misuse. And she's working at a cabaret club where I was turned out for an audition. She got the job. It's frustrating. Daniel borrowed money at a high interest rate again, paid me back my stolen savings and $57,000 in compensation, and submitted a letter of resignation to his company. And after that, he disappeared without a trace. A never-ending debt of nearly $220,000. I don't know much about that world, but I guess I'll never see him again in my life. I think my mother-in-law is sad about losing her son, but we occasionally go out to eat. I heard that the neighbor's husband started keeping a dog in his new apartment. There are hard times, but all you can do is move on. I'll keep looking forward and doing my best.
Mom? It's about what happened today at the hospital. That's not acceptable. Who do you think you are?
What?
Come on, Mom. Not what. I'm obviously referring to you ranting and raving at my wife. Throwing around nonsense accusations like Jason ended up like this because of you, and it's all your fault at her.
Nonsense. It's true, and you know it. If she hadn't been driving dangerously, you never would have gotten hurt. You're a paraplegic because of her.
I told you that's not true. How many times do I have to say the same thing? We were parked up by a crossing when someone asleep at the wheel crashed into us from behind. Neither me nor Ella did anything wrong.
But if there was no accident, you'd still be a normal person, wouldn't you? I can't help but vent my anger. It's only natural. I'm your mother.
A normal person? Are you saying I'm not a normal person? In any case, I need you to stop giving my wife a hard time. It wasn't her fault, and she feels awful enough without getting it in the neck from you. She got injured herself, you know.
I don't give even 1/10 of a damn about someone else's kid. You're the one I'm worried about, Jason. You're my only boy.
Someone else's kid? That's my wife you're talking about. Are you aware we're married? That makes her family. Family! Anyway, I'm fully capable of getting by and earning a living even if I'm in a wheelchair. So you really don't need to worry about me.
Fine, have it your way. Oh, how ungrateful. To think I'm kind enough to worry about you, and this is the thanks I get. Jason, listen to me. I had a long, hard think last night. And I decided it would be better if me and you never had anything to do with each other ever again. I think we should cut all ties, son.
What?
It's time to address the elephant in the room, son. You're a cripple. Living alone is going to be virtually impossible for you from now on. There's no hope of you being able to look after me when I'm old and infirm if you can't even look after yourself.
Old and infirm? What? Basically, you're cutting all ties with me because I can't look after you when you're old.
That's not the only reason. On top of that, I simply don't have enough time or energy to look after you. Which means it would be quite inconvenient to have you around. I'm already getting old, you know. My knees creak, my hips ache. I'm no spring chicken. My plan is to live out my years getting by on your father's inheritance. That would be a lot easier for me if I had one less family member to worry about. Think of it as an opportunity to express some gratitude for all the hard work I put into raising you. You'll accept, won't you?
You can't be serious. Is this the kind of thing a mother says to her heavily disabled son? Can't believe it.
Come on, Jason. Surely you can see it can't be helped. I put in years of blood, sweat, and tears into raising you and did a damn fine job, if I do say so myself. I had no issue with devoting my time and energy to you when I thought it would pay off after I reached an old age. But now? Oh, What use is a son who can't even walk around without assistance? And I'm asking you nicely, won't you be a dear and free me from my servitude?
I see. Basically, what you're saying here, Mom, is that the only reason you had me in the first place was so I could change your diapers when you get old. And now that I can't walk due to the car crash, I no longer have any value. So you're throwing me away like a piece of garbage. On top of that, you also plan on keeping all my dad's inheritance for yourself. Even though he specifically stated a sizable chunk should go to me.
It's hardly my fault. Want to know what the single most important thing in the world is, son? Having a solid plan. If I cut you out of my life, I can live out the rest of my days entirely on your father's money. As for your side of the bargain, you also get out of having to care for me when I'm old and frail. No matter how you look at it, it's a win-win situation.
Do whatever you like. I won't try and stop you cutting me out of your life. But don't you dare try and contact me or my wife ever again. This is final.
That's my line. Don't bother showing up at the house and try to get your greedy hands on the inheritance, because you won't be setting foot inside ever again. Starting tomorrow, we're strangers. Is that clear? Okay, fantastic. Bye-bye. Jason! You came to the house today, didn't you? I warned you! Why did you take the fridge and TV? Give them back at once.
Because they're my personal belongings that I paid for? I can't leave my stuff at your house forever. I gave the key to a close friend and had him stop by to pick them up. Oh, I told him to leave all the frozen stuff in a cooler box, so you're best off eating them ASAP before they spoil.
I cannot believe you. I had no idea my son was so petty and small-minded. Oh, did I say son? Oh, my mistake. You're a stranger now, of course. Oh, it's fine, forget it. That fridge and TV were probably just second-hand junk anyway. I'll buy some shiny new ones with your dad's inheritance. So I don't need your junkyard scrap anyway.
Sure. The fridge is a brand new Hitachi with touchscreen feature configuration and Wi-Fi connectivity. And the TV is an ultra-thin, flat-screen, 70-inch home cinema tier marvel of modern technology. It's true, though. Maybe you'll be able to afford them if you use Dad's inheritance. It's your house, so do what the hell you like.
I don't need to be told by you. Believe me, that's what I fully intend on doing. Never message me again. The next time you enter this house without my permission, the police will be called.
I hate to break this to you, but you're the one who contacted me.
Jason!
What? I was sure you told me we're cutting all ties. Did I dream it?
Don't be sarcastic with me, boy. I have one last thing to tell you. Believe me, you'll want to hear this.
What?
I threw away all the stuff in your room.
You did what now?
Think about it. There was no reason for me to keep a complete stranger's belongings lying around in my house. Yesterday was a combustible garbage day, and today was large refuse. Which means that in just 2 trips from the garbage collectors, all your stuff is gone forever. How lucky am I?
Does that also include the cards in the cardboard boxes?
Probably. I threw everything away after all. Oh no, there weren't items of immense sentimental importance in those boxes, were there? Oh, what a shame. I'm choking for you here. I'm so sorry. Oh, tragically for you, though, I threw them out yesterday, so there's no way of reclaiming them now. I threw away your luggage, too. With this, the cutting of ties is complete. Now we really are complete strangers. Now, for one last time, never message me again.
You really went and did it this time, huh?
What?
Did you really throw away Dad's inheritance?
Inheritance? What are you talking about?
His collection. Oh man, you really went and did it this time. Each and every item in those boxes currently sells for somewhere in the vicinity of $400 to $1,600. He didn't own a single thing that wasn't worth something. Plus, he had absolutely tons of stuff. That stuff was worth tens of thousands of dollars in total. And that's a conservative estimate. I wouldn't be unreasonable to put the combined total at over $75,000.
What? What are you talking about? You're lying. Those boxes are full of nothing but silly kids' games. Junk!
There's a premium on junk like that in certain circles. They were only set to go up in value too, since they're no longer in production. Go ahead, try searching for expensive card game on the internet. You'll be surprised. Chances are the majority of results you'll get were the things in the boxes you just threw away.
Wait, no, you're lying. You're lying, right? Tell me you are. Are you sure they weren't just replicas? If they were really so valuable, why didn't you have your friend take them when he was here for the fridge and TV?
There was no way I could take them. Dad said they were part of your inheritance. He said he wanted them to go to you.
What?
You know how Dad had a bit of a hoarding habit? Well, before he died, he divided up all the stuff that could be sold at a decent price between the family and wrote it in his will. To me, he left all of the heavier, more unwieldy antiques. To you, he left the lighter, easy-to-sell card games.
What? This is the first I've heard of it.
Of course it is. Dad asked me to tell you in the event, and only in the event, that you were facing genuine financial hardship and struggling to get by. It's written in his last will and testament addressed to me. I can show you if you don't believe me. Now, I did plan on doing as he asked and was prepared to go through the necessary procedures if that time ever came.
Oh my god.
Good grief, Mom. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years you'd toss everything out. Me or the cards. It's not a total loss, though. I plan on taking good care of all the antiques Dad gave me, at the least.
Jason! You get yourself down to the landfill and start digging through the trash at once.
What? No way! I'm in a wheelchair. That's impossible.
But you said that stuff was worth $75,000. You might still make it if you go now. Hurry up! Move!
I don't think so. You said you tossed them out yesterday, so they've probably all been crushed by now.
Don't get clever with me, boy. I know. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. If you come back with the $75,000 worth of cards, I'll allow you back into this family. Not just that, but I'll even look after you.
Sorry to disappoint you, but like I already told you, I don't need looking after.
What are you talking about? You're a wheelchair-bound cripple, for heaven's sake. How can someone like you live on their own?
I'm not alone. I have my wife. Anyway, do you even know what my job is? I create plastic models. I receive commissions and then create prototypes for dolls, figures, and models, which is why I don't need to walk to earn a living.
What? Does that mean getting crippled in the accident has no effect on your salary?
How many times have I told you at this point? 5? 10? Damned if I know. What kind of mother doesn't know what their own son's job is? Do you have that little interest in me?
Really? You do that? That's great news, son.
Oh, wow. Am I your son again now? That sure is convenient, huh? There's just one problem. I don't consent to this rekindling of ties you seem to be assuming is taking place. We're strangers now, and we always will be.
Jason! How can you be so cold towards your mother? Have you no heart? Despite me being so lonely, what with your father gone and all, how horrible. Jason, my boy, won't you be a darling and come back to the house today? Let's have some supper together.
I'm not eating with you. Don't be ridiculous. There seems to be a small contradiction between cutting all ties with me and then inviting me over for supper to play happy families.
Jason, please. This wasn't an easy decision for me to make, you know. I only did what I did because I was filled with anxiety about the future.
I'm sure you were. I had a feeling to that effect, which is why I intentionally left only the card games behind. You're the one who threw them all out solely because you made the mistaken assumption they were guilty of the crime of belonging to me. To be honest, I'm more sick of you than I am sympathetic.
I've got an idea. Won't you be a dear and give me all the antiques your dad left you? I don't mind if they're heavy.
What? Why would I do that? Why would I give you the things Dad explicitly said he wanted to go to me? I won't even be selling them anyway. Those antiques were part of Dad's cherished collection, and they were really important to him.
All the more reason to hand them over. They'd be far more valuable if I sold them. I could use them to get by on. What use are they as decorations for your apartment? They'd be nothing but clutter. It's what your father would want, Jason. You know it's true.
I could explain in explicit detail why you're wrong, but you probably wouldn't even understand. Anyway, I have absolutely no intention of giving you any of his stuff, nor do I ever want to live with you again. I'm gonna stop replying to your messages soon.
How can you be so insensitive? Oh, I've had it with you. Fine, I don't need you. I still have some savings in my bank account.
That's great. Since you've been so heavily reliant on Dad's inheritance all this time, you must have saved up about $75,000 by now, right?
What does my bank balance have to do with you, boy? If I did have that much, I'd be able to live off it for the rest of my life.
Do you seriously think that'd be enough to see you through the rest of your days?
What? 75,000? Of course it would.
With your current lifestyle, you're eating through at least $15,000 a year. Doesn't take a genius to figure out you're only going to be able to keep that up for 5 more years. You could afford to have a higher standard of living when Dad was still around. But there's no way your current lifestyle is sustainable.
What's your point? Are you saying I need to tighten my belt and save up more? No chance. You can't stop me buying the things I want.
Listen. Want to know what the simple, most important thing in the world is? Having a solid plan. If anyone can do it, you can, Mom. I have to make this clear, though, and it really pains me to say this, but me and my wife simply don't have enough time or energy to look after a complete stranger.
Stop it, please. Just wait. What do you mean, stranger? We're family. I'm your mother. Let's just talk this over. Jason, please, answer the phone.
Look, Mom, I'm a cripple. Things would be a whole lot easier for me if I had one less family member to worry about. Look on the bright side. You're free to do what you want with Dad's inheritance. And I'm blessed to have a loving wife who looks after me. Which means you don't have to go through the trouble. No matter how you look at it, it's a win-win situation. Apparently after that, much to my astonishment, my mom ran to the landfill on her own and entered illegally by climbing over the back fence in a frenzied panic. When she was brought to my apartment in the back of a police car, she was covered head to toe in garbage juice. It smelled something like a mixture between sewage and rotting flesh. Of course, being strangers now, I firmly rejected my responsibility and sent her back on her way with those 2 unfortunate policemen who had to tolerate the stench. She was driven back to her house ranting and raving like a lunatic. It was what happened over the next few days that shocked me the most. Me and my wife got back from a day out to find someone had been rummaging through our belongings and made a total mess of the place. When I confronted my mom, she confessed to sneaking into the apartment and turning the place upside down in an attempt to find my dad's antiques. Thankfully, her search was in vain because my wife's parents very kindly agreed to let us keep everything at their place for a while. However, my patience had reached its limit. We enlisted the help of a lawyer through a recommendation from my stepdad. When we went over to warn her that we'd take legal action if she ever pulled anything like that again, my mother, tragically ignorant of the world, immediately became timid and backed down. And she hasn't bothered us since. I do have a feeling she'll probably try to get in touch with me again after a little while. So me and my wife are currently making preparations to move on the down low. I already bought a new cell phone, which means that by the next spring, we finally will be strangers once and for all.